did a retail internet giant get tangled up in election voter fraud claims? Dr. Patrick Michael Byrne, the founder and former CEO of Overstock.com, joins us now. Dr. Byrne, thanks for coming on today. If you don't mind, kind of break down how you're connected to this Dominion machine voting system and why you have some concerns about it.
Okay, Emma, thank you for having me on. Please call me Patrick.
All right.
I'm connected. Besides that e-commerce thing was just something I did. I did other things. I took on Wall Street 15 years ago. People who know my story know about that. That's not what's important. What's important is your viewers understand the election was hacked, and this story will answer that question. This election was hacked. This election was hacked. The outcome has been rigged. I did not vote for Trump. I'm a libertarian, small L libertarian, never voted Republican or Democrat for president in my life. I'm saying this election was rigged. I'm a CEO who built a $2 billion tech company. I don't mean to sound like I'm beating my chest. I was National Entrepreneur of the Year, you go back a decade, for building a $2 billion tech company, Overstock. I know what I'm talking about. I'm also a PhD from Stanford and a Marshall Scholar and such. I'm putting all that credibility on the line. This election was hacked. The outcome was rigged and should be completely ignored or discounted. I mean, through the court system. The courts should throw it out.
Right. So you sound like Trump's.
How I know this.
Right. You sound like Trump's legal team right now. So we're all on the same page. You sound like what their claims are as well. And clearly, you have the experience and the expertise in regards to maybe shedding some light on how you know that to be true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's how I know that. I'm backing. I have the data, and so I have the data, the electronics, everything. I've been backing and supporting some cybersecurity experts in a number of different groups. And this how that came about. In 2018, the Dallas election had irregularities. The Texas state government hired a elite cybersecurity company to go in and study what had happened in 2018. And they reverse engineered it. And when you reverse engineer something, that's when you take the final product and you get a bunch of people to study it, and they unscreen, they break it apart and they figure out how you build it so they can go copy it. These guys reverse engineered the 2018 Dallas irregularities, which turned out to be a hack. Dominion ran it. It was the Dominion's technology that ran it. So they've had 2 years to study what sort of this country is just learning about in the last 2 weeks, or the last 2 hours maybe, or the last 2 days. It turns out anyone who's telling you this stuff can't be hacked is talking through his hat. This stuff, an 8th grader could hack this nonsense. This group, the cybersecurity group in Texas, and for the last number of months, I've been funding them and some other hackers and ethical hackers and cybersecurity people. Remember, I employed 2,000, a year ago, I had 2,000 technologists working for me. They've been reverse engineering, and there's basically at least 10 ways to cheat, 10 cheats in the system, 10 different ways to cheat. It's so porous. I asked them yesterday, if I had asked you 6 months ago to get involved and hack this, now that you understand it, these new guys, how would you have rated it 1 to 10? And their considered answer, after due consideration, was a 2, maybe a 1. It's unbelievable. There's so many different ways to cheat these systems, but especially the Dominion system. So I can walk you through them, but that's the main event. People need to hear up front. I was a Marshall Scholar, a PhD from Stanford.
Yeah.
I've built a $2 billion company. I'm putting it all on the line. This entire election was hacked. It's far easier to hack this than a PayPal or your Venmo account.
Sure, and we've seen hacks on major social media outlets before. In this year alone, my mind goes to Twitter. But are you in touch with the Trump campaign, and would you advise, when they are pursuing these lawsuits, specifically about Dominion, that they would bring on board someone who would be able to prove that they could, in fact, change votes for Donald Trump to Joe Biden? Would that be provable in court if you brought on the right person?
Absolutely provable. We have the data. You do not have to worry. The only question is how quickly can the process intake it versus how quickly the goons are trying to shut down the process so they can seal this all in cement. I'm saying this again. I did not vote for Mr. Trump. I respect him. He's got elected president. So this isn't a Trump supporter coming out and saying this. I'm a tech CEO, National Entrepreneur of the Year for building a tech company. Or if you go back about to Ernst and Young about 10 years ago, I know what I'm talking about. And this thing is child's play to have beaten. It's embarrassing. And so Trump's actually correct. His campaign's correct.
Have they reached out to you?
Listen, I'm one step ahead of the sheriff myself because of the fact that I've come out about some things. But so I don't work for them, anything like that. I'm not a donor to them.
Yeah.
But I've been using my own resource to unscramble this, and I'm trying to feed it into the system. Yes, the system is taking it in. They have their other sources, but we have all the goods. They're absolutely.
And
correct.
do you believe it was millions of votes that were again flipped from Donald Trump to Joe Biden?
Well, the main event is not the total number of millions. It was not widespread deep. It was narrow and deep. It was very strategic.
In select states, you're saying?
Select counties.
Okay.
5 counties that really matter. And they realize if you hack these 5, that they're a small number of places, if you defeated the election, you could flip the states and you could flip the electoral college. And how it was done. I mean, people can see this in news they already know if you think about this. Doesn't it seem a little odd that Mr. Biden was behind in states, 600,000 votes, and then he has this come from behind victory and wins by 14,000.
Hey, that's what so many people are asking. That is what a lot of people are asking.
800,000 incumbent.
I know. You're not alone in thinking that. Patrick, we're out of time. We could talk forever, though. This is some good stuff. Patrick Byrne joining us live this morning on Newsmax. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.